What is up, Who Dat Nation? It's Chris Vogel from the Straight Up Saints podcast, doing a little bit of a brief video here to kind of recap what happened on Thursday at OTAs for the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, nothing's really mandatory yet, and there are players missing, whether it's from injury, personal reasons, maybe training elsewhere. But there are a couple of players who are notable on the practice field this past Thursday, and one of them was Jarvis Landry, one of the newly acquired players for the New Orleans Saints this season. And so far, so good on that front, whether it was Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football, John Hendricks of Booker Media and St. News Network, Mike Triplett of ESPN, every single one of them had nothing but glowing reviews of Jarvis Landry and the way he performed in OTAs, albeit, it is just OTAs, and I don't think organized team activities is going to be the end all be all thing for something like this. But when Jarvis Landry comes in the building and immediately makes an impact or immediately kind of leaves his footprint on the team in a good way, that's what you want to hear. And there's a multitude of reasons for that. It's not just for what he would bring to this team and what he on a personal level and individual level can do, but the trickle down effect and kind of what rolls out of that. And I think that's a big thing for Jarvis Landry. And look, just from a contract standpoint, we knew this was going to be something where it's no risk. And we know the reward can be there because we know his history as a wide receiver. But let's just focus on real quick the contract and then kind of go through why I'm excited when I hear that Jarvis Landry is already making an impact and what it could lead to and kind of spitball from there. And I know, look, this might kind of seem as speculation based or it might come off as it's more of an overreaction type thing. But the reality is it is June 3rd and there isn't much going on. So when you get something like this and you hear that Jarvis Landry is doing damn well, you want to talk about it. So from a contract standpoint, we know that it's a $3 million base salary with another $3 million that he can earn in incentives. So overall, let's just say he plays up to his potential. It's a 1 year, $6 million deal. That is pretty good value. That's great value if he plays as, at that Pro Bowl level that we know he's capable of. And even if he doesn't, and let's say he plays close to the average, yards per game they had last year at $3 million, probably doesn't hit every incentive. It's even, in terms of that bargain, it still stays at that department. Maybe it even escalates if he ends up getting, let's say, 800, 900 yards at that price tag. You can't do anything wrong there. Now, for me, the added bonus, forget about the contract part, is what he'll do on the field and what he'll bring to the locker room. I think for the New Orleans Saints, one of the big things is losing leadership, right? Whether it is Teron Armstead, whether it is Malcolm Jenkins, they needed vets back in the building. And I think, and if you guys think I'm wrong, I would love to hear kind of your take on this. I think Jarvis Landry, for the most part of his NFL career, has been respected as a guy who, when he comes in the locker room, you're going to listen to what he has to say. And I think for New Orleans, when you get that added bonus, but also do it at a position of need. Remember, wide receiver has been such a problem for them the last, I'd say, 2 seasons. That is just a huge, huge plus for this team. And I think for Jarvis, you look at last year and you might see his numbers and you might say, all right, 52 catches, a little over 570 yards and a couple of scores. That's not great. But he did miss 5 games because of injury. He did, even when he was on the field, play through pain. So it's not like he was at 100%. And also, let's not forget, Jarvis Landry was playing on a team that last year, quarterback-wise, it wasn't optimal. Now, I know people will counter-argue and say, hey, the Saints quarterback situation isn't exactly all fine and dandy at the moment. But again, I think that for the Saints, relative to last year's Browns team, I think it's a better spot for Jarvis Landry. I also think another plus here, Jarvis Landry, what he'll bring is that he takes pressure off 2 guys who I think will enter with high expectations, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas. I think for Olave, a lot of us are expecting offensive rookie of the year type production, right? And he might very well do that. Like, I think Chris Olave is going to be a special talent and a player who comes in and immediately plays well. But when you have Landry, you don't have to put as much pressure on the rookie. As for Michael Thomas, he's coming off an injury. Can he be an offensive player of the year candidate? Well, he doesn't need to be that version of Michael Thomas. If Jarvis Landry's healthy and playing well, he can be 2018, 2017 version of Michael Thomas, which is still a really good wide receiver, by the way. So I think that definitely helps. And then again, you're learning work ethic. You're learning the understanding of routes, releases, when to go in and out of your breaks. I mean, Chris Olave was talking to the media yesterday, and he said he feels like he's already getting better just from sitting down and learning from Jarvis Landry. And I think a player who had a similar impact in terms of teaching guys was Emmanuel Sanders a couple of years ago. I think Jarvis Landry can still do that while also putting up maybe better production and having a little bit more of an impact because of who he is a little bit bigger of a name, a little bit more respected, maybe among some ranks, although Emmanuel Sanders is a fine guy in his own right. I love that aspect to it. So you're talking about leadership. Landry checks that box. You're talking about helping out the younger players in terms of letting them develop, because it's not just Chris Olave. It's Deontay Hardy getting better. It's, Marquez Callaway getting better. And, people are getting frustrated with him, but Traquan Smith, he can learn things from Jarvis Landry, perhaps. So there's that added bonus. And then when you factor it in all at the cost of $3 million, I think it's pretty good. So when I hear that Jarvis Landry's shining in OTAs, that puts a smile on my face, and I hope it does for you guys as well. Now, before I wrap it up real quick, just remember, as always, these videos are sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. And next week, UFC 275, you can get in on the action by betting. All you can do is put $5 down on a UFC fight, pick whichever one you want from a really loaded card, and you can get $150 in free bets instantly. You use code BOOT when you're a new member, and you can go get your rewards there. So just check out that as always. So we're heading into the weekend. It's probably going to get a little quiet from Saints news, so I'll be back around on Monday. Hopefully we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about. But so far, it seems like everything's good on the Jarvis Landry front.